choke. Wednesday heat, 8 p.m. no debate. Sports Bar Nation, we never show up late. Oh, this is the Sports Bar. Wednesday nights we go hard. Veterans strong and we stand tall. WTF Nation, we run the ball. Hey, hey, turn the lights on. It's Sports Bar, come get your hype on. Hey, turn the lights on. It's Sports Bar, come get your hype on. WTF Nation, Wednesday domination. King and coach in rotation. The Sports Bar's sensation. From kickoff to buzzer beaters, we break it all down. Wednesday 8 p.m. the live show in town. It's the Sports Bar where legends hang out. WTF Nation Radio. We
just gonna skip that because I could tell that the audio wasn't coming through. We struggle streaming already. What's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to the Sports Bar. I am the actual King Smith, and this is the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio. And hold on, we have a caller. Let me see what this person wants. Hey, caller, you are live on WTF Nation Radio. Who is this calling?
It's Pete, of course. Who else do you think it is?
Hey, Greek Pete, welcome, man. We just started the Sports Bar, and I figured that I would bring you in live. Do you have anything sports related to bring up here for WTF Nation Radio?
Well, you think about it, WrestleMania is around the corner, and you're wrestling, professional wrestling information, sports, and Greek guy.
Hey, you know what? If I was going to talk about that, I would have had you come on, but give us a quick 15-second rundown about WrestleMania and what you have to add to it.
This is going to be a shit show. As simple as that. Can I put an answer? Because they have no good main events, no good matches coming up. They're repeating last year's WrestleMania with a little twist to it. So it's going back to the same venue, and that's always a problem. WrestleMania is not what WrestleMania was anymore. Now it is more a show, not a wrestling event. And then, like, 2 days is too long. You know, 1 day was more than enough. Now it's more about who has the deepest pocket. TKO is charging. I heard, like, the front row over 10 grand some tickets. I'm not sure how accurate that is. The tickets are expensive. You need a mortgage and sell your liver at the same time.
Right? And with today's gas prices, who can afford those kind of a ticket?
Yeah, tell me about it. And you're in Vegas too. I mean, I know. Let's gamble. Let's play a little, win some money. But you're not winning money. You're losing money, and you're delivering at the same time.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, hey, Greek Pete, I appreciate you calling in, brother. Thanks for tuning in to the Sports Bar, WTF Nation Radio.
Anytime, man. Later.
All right. Peace. That was very impromptu, but that's what we do here at the Sports Bar. For those of y'all that are new to the Sports Bar, welcome. I, King Smith, am a U.S. Air Force veteran. My co-host, Coach, is taking a bit of a sabbatical. He hasn't gone anywhere. He is still my co-host, but what y'all might see here over the next couple of weeks is a cadre of co-hosts to come on and talk about all things sportsing. Let's get the marketing stuff out the way before we get into today's show. We are one of several shows here at WTF Nation Radio. Most live streams start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. The one that does not is The Reset with Dr. J, that is on Sundays at 12 p.m. Eastern. On Monday, we have the Monday edition hosted by Ice and the King and Me show, hosted by this lovely face and my lady Michelle. Hey, boo thing. Hey, wifey. On Tuesdays, you got Pop Culture Warrior, led by the man affectionately known as CQ, where he talks about all things pop culture related. Wednesdays, you've got the Sports Bar. Thursdays, you have Sergeant's Time with Ice. Friday, you have either FTX or nothing scheduled. Sometimes you'll get Nemo, who also does Saturdays weekend co-ops to round out all of our shows. We have other shows that are coming on board, and we can't wait for y'all to take a part of those. You've got the outdoor show that's coming here soon. As soon as they decide to launch, there's no time like the present. Hint, hint. For those of y'all that like the outdoors and things. Speaking of outdoors, now that the weather's been pretty decent here in Maryland over the last couple of days, I've gone out and gone hiking. Me actually hiking. There's several state parks here in Maryland. If you are a veteran, you're able to get into a lot of these places for free. Some they have like an honor system where they'll tell you, hey, you got to put in $2, but come on, or $2 in a box. But who's really going to do that? Go by an honor system. Not here in the US. But I've started to enjoy the outdoors a lot more as I've gotten older. And also getting older has really made me fully realize my mortality. I'm pretty sure that y'all who were in the military can imagine when you're in your 20s, right? You think you're invincible. You think that there's nothing out there that can knock you sideways until you get into your 40s from being out and being deployed and being on aircrafts or gunfire that's been around you. Now you got your tinnitus and your ears is ringing 24/7 from all that time wrecking in your army days. You've got aches and pains in your knees and your back. It seems like when you hit that age of 40, that's when you suddenly really understand everything about your mortality and just kind of how life is. So I'm trying to get out and be a little bit more active. It's also April the 1st, which is April Fool's Day. Several people are wondering if the picture that they saw with me and my wifey is real. Hey, all I'm gonna say is this. It's a good thing that I decided to still go live, even after my wedding today, taking the rest of this week off and going out to some cabins and just gonna enjoy my time out there. So make of that what you will. Shout out to Ton. We got Ton in the building. Say, yo. Hey, my man, I appreciate you tuning in. We got the lady herself, Household 6 is in the building. Say good evening. And I was about to say, I got a promotion. Yes, you did, baby. Yes, you did. We got Said the Egg in the building with the thumbs up. All right. Let's get through the first thing that we're going to have for today. And we're going to talk about March Madness here. We started a bracket at WTF Nation Radio where the winner is going to win something. Haven't made the announcement of this yet. But y'all know when I'm the host of things, I don't just give away small things. I've given away a signed jersey, a signed NFL jersey. We've given away a pair of Jordan 1s, size to your feet. Shout out to the person that won our fantasy football league. And in this March Madness bracket, I felt pretty confident about winning until we got to the Elite 8 and every one of my teams in the Elite 8 started losing. But let's share what's going on with the Final Four here. And I'm going to resize this so that we can see myself as well as the screen. So in the Elite 8, in the Final Four, you have UConn going against Illinois as a 2v1, and you have Arizona matched up against Michigan in a battle of number ones. A lot of people liked Arizona to be able to make it, and they were one of the top favorites out of Vegas to be able to go on and win it all. UConn, who got extremely lucky in that Duke game, which we're also going to cover, ended up pulling out what should have been a loss to beat Duke and go and advance. And I'm going to show some video on that because we're going to do some coaching here and explain to these young kids who apparently are forgetting the fundamentals what you should and what you shouldn't do in pressure situations. But it's not just at the college level. I've got one clip that I'm going to show of a high school team losing their playoff game because they did the exact same thing that Duke did against UConn. Now, pivoting over to our brackets, let's share this tab over here. I'm all the way down at the very next to bottom. And I don't know how I feel about that. I do like the fact that Boomerist and Robin are kind of close to each other, neck and neck, and they're not necessarily at the top. But there is no way that I can win our NCAA men's tournament bracket. However, I can do my best to not be at the very bottom. All right. The forecast has Mike Newsberger pick to win, which, at a 94.5% clip where he had damn near perfect Sweet 16 and a perfect Elite 8 pick, you can't go wrong right there. And his round of 64 did pretty good too. Almost perfect anyway, with his Elite 8 and Sweet 16 pick. But this right here, a 94.5% correction percentage, hey man, that's good. I want to say that was close to the top. So I'm gonna see if I click on his picks here, if it shows what he would have had overall. I don't think it shows it that way. Let me see if I switch to leaderboard, if it shows like his thing versus the overall leaderboard. I'm trying to figure out right here, this guy Dave Howard, is this somebody that's actually going for a perfect bracket in the world? There is no way. There is no way this person. Okay, no, it looks like they missed one here. They had Gonzaga over Texas. Okay. So damn near perfect. How's he calling that 100% when he's got like 3 that he's got wrong? That's still not bad. That's still not bad. So shout out to this Dave 1974 person out here for damn near having an almost perfect bracket. All right. But let's showcase here. There's been, before we go into what happened at Duke and UConn, let's go all the way back to high school and showcase what you're not supposed to do in a football game.
At the line for his second, throws it off the rim.
So I'm going to take this back. Now here you have the team in yellow that's down 2 points with 1.2 seconds left. Now his strategy of zinging it off either the backboard or the rim, that's actually good because it's not going to give the team in yellow that much time to be able to get off and take a shot. It's actually okay to let them fire that shot up if they did get the rebound, because the chances of it hitting, it's not 0%, right? But it's as close to 0 as you can get. And just take a look at what these dummies did.
At the line for his second, throws it off the rim. Corey Johnson,
he fouled this guy on what is essentially a 3-point attempt and send this person to the line for a chance to win the game if they win and hit all 3 points. Shout out to Nightmare. I see you, Nightmare. Said hi, hello. Let me do my show. I appreciate you tuning in, though. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in. So here you have.
Unbelievable. The foul is called on the full court shot. His first is on the way and good.
So he makes the first one
to tie the game. It's good.
Makes the second one, so now it's tied. And if he hits one more, that's going to put their team up 1 and give the team that should have won the game no chance to really go down and score.
Good. Johnston to win the game for Bushnell from the line. His free throw on the way, and it's good. Jackson shuts it up. It's out of play, and Bushnell wins.
Bushnell came back and won in the game that they had no business winning. And this was a high school quarterfinal playoff game. I know it looks like it's a college, but no, it was a high school game. So let's fast forward to March Madness and the Final Four. Duke, who had the ball with 10 seconds left, gets the ball, brings it upfield, and actually, I don't have the full clip. That's bad. I just came back from a different place here.
Caravan, 2 seconds. Mullins tosses it.
So right before this play, Duke had the ball. They inbound it. They bring it up and decides to do a heave for no reason. You have 10 seconds to advance the ball from the backcourt to the front court, but before it's a penalty and a turnover. And they were right at 10 seconds. Being up 2, you can at least risk getting fouled, which is what UConn would have likely did if you would have held on to the ball. It would have sent them to the line. They'd have had a chance to make 2 and put the game out of reach. Let's say they missed both of them. If they would have had less than 5 seconds, it still would have been that much more difficult for UConn to win. But they didn't do that. So they gave UConn the ball, and with 3
Caravan, 2 seconds. Mullins tosses it up. Ah!
Mullins hits a shot that was just, you heard the nets be crispy when it hit.
It's good! With .3, UConn goes in front!
And it ended with 0.3 seconds where UConn went up by 1, and everybody that was watching this game said that there is no way that happened. No way that happened. Duke, who is normally a well-coached team, just had zero coaching that went into that. And the players that are on the floor should be embarrassed for themselves. There's no reason why that Duke team should not have been in the Final Four, and we would have had 3 number 1 teams making it out to the Final Four. So for those of y'all out there that may be coaching, you might have kids that are being coached, played up at a high school level. Start teaching these kids the fundamentals early so that when they get in pressure situations like this, they're going to know what to do. I don't put this as a failure on the players. I put it as a failure on the coaching. Let me know what y'all think about that. Who was at wrong in both of those scenarios? Was it the players or was it the coach? Let's make a pivot over here and get into the NBA. The NBA's season is slowly wrapping and coming to an end, and we are getting into postseason territory. LeBron James, aka the GOAT, coach, if you're listening, stands alone in the win column. And Lakers just hit the 50-win mark to secure a playoff spot. Charles Barkley, on Inside the NBA, came out and said, I guarantee that the Lakers will not make the playoffs. Well, hey, Chuck, I hope you are eating crow over there because they indeed did make the playoffs. And the Lakers, they don't look like a really solid contender, but they're healthy. And they're going to get into the playoffs with old-ass LeBron, a.k.a. the GOAT, and Luka leading that team. And Austin Reeves, who, when LeBron or Luka isn't on the floor, steps up and looks like one of those fundamentally sound guards that can dominate in the NBA, which is interesting to think about. After Tuesday's victory over the Cavs, LeBron has officially passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most combined wins when you factor in the regular season and playoffs in NBA history, sitting at 1,229 victories. It's a milestone. To me, it locks in LeBron James as the GOAT, and there's no debating it. Coach, or anybody else out there, crown LBJ the GOAT. Let's get this off the screen. I've got some other NBA news, but we're going to come back to that. Actually, you know what? No. Let's come into it. Also in the NBA, the Chicago Bulls dismissed NBA player Jaden Ivey over his anti-LGBTQ rant. And this rant was weird, in my opinion. But I don't think he should have been dismissed by the team, as they say, conduct detrimental for what he said. Now, I'm going to use fair use on this, and I believe that the things that he's going to say fall within the terms of service. If not, and this live stream gets clipped, it ain't my fault. But let's take a listen into what Jaden Ivey said on his Instagram Live while he's riding in his car, and what he talks about regarding Pride Month and the LGBTQ LMNOP people that's out there. Take a listen.
That the world can proclaim LGBTQ, right? They proclaim Pride Month and the NBA. They proclaim it. They show it to the world. They say, come join us for Pride Month. To celebrate unrighteousness. They proclaim it. They proclaim it on the billboards. They proclaim it in the streets. Unrighteousness. So how is it that one can't speak righteousness? How is it one that how are they to say that you man, this man is crazy? Don't we all, doesn't even the world make judgments on certain things? So how is it when the gospel is preached that people hate it, that people don't want to hear it, and they think it's strange when someone preaches the gospel, the true gospel? God did not make a man to be with a man. How God did not make a girl to be with a girl. God made a man for the purpose of procreation, to have another child. How can a woman bear a child with a woman? How? Unless they go to the doctor and it can't happen physically. They have the same body part. They cannot bear children unless they get something done. Right? So God didn't make that to be. God didn't make a woman for a woman. No, He made a woman for the man. That's exactly what God made. He made things good. He made the trees. He made the sun. If the sun was ever closer, we would burn. But He made it in a proper place so that we get the proper light in the day. He made the grass. He gave us water to drink. If we didn't have water to drink, we would be dehydrated. God is faithful. And Jesus bless all.
So that is a shortened, condensed version of a 45-minute rant that Jaden Ivey gave on his own Instagram Live. And this was after he had just gotten waived by the Chicago Bulls. So what does that tell me as somebody that's on the outside of the association and that team, right? And who is Jaden Ivey? So Jaden Ivey was a number 5, not a fifth rounder, the 5th pick in the 2022 NBA draft. He was drafted by the Detroit Pistons, and after making all-rookie, second team all-rookie, his rookie year in which he averaged 16 points and 5 assists, which is good by most measures, especially for a young rookie in the NBA. He ends up getting traded to the Chicago Bulls. Now, one could ask yourself, if the Detroit Pistons used that high of a pick on him, why did they end up trading him at the end of his rookie year? I don't know Jaden Ivey like that, but it's my belief that this rant that he gave on Instagram Live is likely how he talks 24/7. It's likely how he is when he's around people. And I'm not going to sit here and say that religious speak in sports isn't something that he shouldn't be able to do. You should be, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, all that stuff. Definitely do it. But what I am going to say, and I'm trying to see how I can rate this right. Depending on the type of person that you are, if you're somebody that shows up and that's all that you want to talk about, you can get people not really want to be around you. Now, if your purpose is to win sports games and get paid to do that as a professional athlete, Jaden Ivey had the skills to show up and do that. But if every single time that you make a pass, you make it a pass, and then you go, I make this pass in Jesus' name. How often are people going to want to be around you saying that? It sounds as though, when I did a little bit of research on this, people aren't saying that the kid's a bad kid. What I'm hearing about him is that he's insufferable to be around. Now, post this rant that I'm showing up on the screen here, in which he talked about how pride is being forced upon the masses. He talks about how Steph Curry is a fake Christian. That's the part that had me cracking up laughing. It's like, man, how is Steph Curry taking a stray in this person's rant? But he called Steph Curry a fake Christian, saying that he goes up and he proclaims to be a Christian, yet he cusses and stuff all the time, which is interesting when you think about that, right? Does not cursing mean that you are a Christian? Can you curse and be a Christian? I don't know. I'm asking the questions posed by Jaden Ivey here. But he went on this whole rant that was very anti-LGBTQ. And it came on the heels of him being waived by his team, the Chicago Bulls. And I'm not entirely too sure he gets picked up by another team in the NBA. He's talented enough that if he wants to play in some other kind of league, he's going to get picked up. I know he's dealing with an injury, and that was also likely a factor as well. Think about this. Do you think that the Chicago Bulls would waive Derrick Rose if Derrick Rose wasn't injured and he came out and he had his own personal views about what he thinks about pride and the LGBT LMNOP community? I don't think so. I don't think so. So my question for y'all, the viewers, and the people that are listening on audio, should Jaden Ivey have been waived for speaking his mind? Put it down in the comment section. Now let's get this off the screen and transition to our next storyline here. Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is in the news again for all the wrong reasons, arrested one more time for being drunk during the daylight. And this is a very Florida story. Let's get this up here on the screen. And we're going to show some pictures here and share a news article that was written by the Times in which they show Tiger Woods' mugshot that was released following his arrest. So, golf player Tiger Woods charged with driving under the influence after crash near his home in Florida. Police said he appeared to be on some type of medication or drug. So, I'm not going to go into legalese speak here. DUI doesn't necessarily mean it's alcohol related. You could be taking prescribed drugs, the ones that tell you when taking this, do not operate any motor vehicles. And if you go out and you operate a motor vehicle, you can get charged with driving under the influence. It didn't say driving while intoxicated, driving under the influence. Things that can impair your motor skills are dangerous. So his car is overturned, flipped over, and this is his mugshot right here, which Tiger, look, man, just do what I do. Keep it low. There's no reason to have whatever this is on top of your head ever. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for you, man. Somebody need to tell you. The golf superstar, age 50, attempted to overtake a truck carrying a pressure cleaner at a high rate of speed, and he rode his car on the side at 2 p.m. this past Friday. Woods took a breathalyzer test and showed no signs of having consumed alcohol. However, he did exemplify signs of impairment and refused a urine test, which is smart. You do not have to subject yourself to a urine test. Actually, let me walk that back a bit. You should know your state laws on if you have to submit yourself to a urine test. Now, Sheriff John Budensink, that's a weird last name, gave no additional details other than Tiger Woods appeared to be on some type of medication or drugs. This is the street in which Tiger Woods overturned his vehicle on, and that's the driver's side too. So I'm wondering how he got out. Did he come out the back here? Did he go out the front windshield? Did he climb up and get out on the passenger side? I'm curious about that. So the sheriff came out and said when it came time to ask about the urinalysis test used, and so he's been charged with DUI with property damage and refusal to submit to a lawful test in the crash. Okay, this is where you got to learn and understand what your state laws and things are. Woods was not injured, but was lethargic on the scene and was alone in the car before he crawled out of the passenger door. So he climbed up top. He was arrested and then booked at a local jail. I wonder if he was really by himself. Do y'all think Tiger Woods was actually by himself when this had occurred? Looks like the area that this crash had occurred at was just north of Palm Beach, over at the east side of the Panhandle part of Florida. Under Florida law, he had to remain in jail for at least 8 hours before being released on bond. And pictures show Woods leaving the Martin County Jail around midnight local time, which is Eastern Standard Time Zone. He's sitting in there looking like, oh, this sucks. I wonder who this was who had picked him up right here. I can't tell if that's a white male or a white female. When describing how the crash occurred on a small 2-lane road, the sheriff said, had there been someone moving in the opposite direction, we would not be having a conversation saying that there were no injuries and that this could have been a lot worse. Asked how Woods had been driving in the run-up to the accident, he said that I could tell you that it's a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. When I show you the photos, they kind of speak for themselves. You can see that he slid for a decent space before he came to a stop. Tiger Woods was seemingly likely to make a return to the Masters on April the 9th, but with this latest incident, it's not entirely sure if he's going to be able to make that or not. Now, this is his mugshot from a 2017 accident, and maybe Tiger Woods just need to get himself a driver. At this point, Tiger, look, I used to have a top secret clearance. That means I'm trustworthy. If you can pay me what my current government salary is, I will come and be your driver 24/7. I will be your driver anywhere in the world that you go to. I can get myself an international driver's license. I have driven overseas before, in Europe, in Asia, so I've got the experience. If you need a driver, Tiger, that can be trusted, I will keep your secrets, all of your mistresses, and whose houses that you need to go over to get that late night pounding. I will be discreet and all of that. I will sign whatever NDA you need me to sign so that I could be your sober driver 24/7. All of that. All you'd have to do, pay my current. I don't need health insurance. I've got that taken care of. Thanks to the US government. This is another accident that Tiger had. This was the first time that he got in trouble with driving in an accident in 2009. And he will wreck a car. Goodness. I have only been in one car accident in my life, and it wasn't even my fault. No, I've been in 2 car accidents. One was a single car accident in which I swerved to avoid a deer, totaled the car. The other one, I got hit from the back by a moving car as I was waiting to make a left turn on the street. And this was before cell phones were even a thing. I don't know how this guy was distracted enough that he could not see me waiting to turn left in front of him. He was driving a big Deuce Buick, and I was driving a two-door Ford hatchback, my 11th or 12th grade year in high school. And I'm thankful that he wasn't driving faster. Otherwise, I might not be here today. So, Tiger, if you need a driver, my man, shoot me an email at king@WTFNationRadio.com, or whoever is a part of Tiger's team, king@WTFNationRadio.com. Let's talk. Let's chat. What else we got here that's sports news or sports related to talk about before we wrap up today's show? MLB has started, but nobody really cares about baseball this early until something stupid happens. And something stupid did occur, and we've got to bring this up. This referee made a call and stood 10 toes down on the absolute wrong call. It's almost as if he's getting paid to make this call a certain way. Y'all take a look at this footage and tell me how he could have gotten to this call, because it doesn't make sense. Take a look.
Bowers, in and out of the glove of Williamson. Throws the first, it's wide. It's backed up by Fortes. That should be a base hit for Bowers.
And never did make a move towards second base.
Did not touch first base and then was put out.
So the call from CB Buckner is that Jake Bowers missed first base and then was tagged out. Not that he made a move to second base,
right,
and was tagged out, that he flat out missed the bag. And I think that is a horrendous call. Where is CB Buckner looking?
He's not even looking at it. Why would he even say that?
CB Buckner was not even looking at the play.
CB Buckner's looking at there. That's ridiculous.
Well, I'm really excited for him to have the plate tomorrow.
My goodness. I mean, he's looking at the ball in foul ground. He wasn't even looking at first base.
He steps right on top of the bag. I would love to see that view from the
Jake Bauer's just laughing.
the RoboCam one more time.
So that is the infamous CB Buckner, veteran MLB umpire. And this guy is one of the most overturned MLB umps that they have. He's already in CB Buckner form hitting this, right? So he had 6 overturned calls over the plates that were incorrectly called strikes in one game. He had the first base blunder that occurred in yesterday's Brewers versus Rays game. While working as a first base umpire, he called Jake Bauers out, saying that he missed the bag completely. And there is no way possible. If you look on the screen, for those of y'all that can see the screen, this guy not only steps on the bag, but it's like a definitive step on the bag. There's no way you can say he did not touch the bag. Yet, that was the call that he made. And earlier today, he was forced to leave the same Brewers-Rays series finale in the second inning. He was working behind home plate when a 100-mile-per-hour foul tip came off the bat and struck him in his face mask. Buckner dropped to his knees, was evaluated by the Brewers medical staff, and ultimately had to exit the game, forcing the rest of the crew to pivot to a 3-man operation. I think that somehow the pitcher and the batter coordinated said, hey, man, we got to get this fool out. Yeah. And they orchestrated that to occur that way. You can't tell me otherwise. Now, my assistant producer gave me an update on the Tiger Woods story. So let's get off of MLB and go back to Tiger Woods here as soon as my computer decides to unfreeze itself. All right, here we go. We can get this set up here now. Judge grants Tiger Woods permission to leave the U.S. for treatment. So I guess Tiger Woods is going to get special treatment because he needs it, right? It's not like he's a citizen like everybody else. But this just came in. A Florida judge on Wednesday granted Tiger Woods' request to travel outside of the U.S. and enter a comprehensive inpatient treatment facility. That's quick. I don't think somebody like me gets that same type of treatment if that were to happen to me. Wealth and fame has its privileges. Wealth and fame has its privileges because that doesn't happen to me. But shout out to Tiger Woods for at least stepping away from golf to receive treatment, which seems like this is the same script as the last time that he got in trouble. What are they doing at this rehab? Matter of fact, let me open up a rehab facility for people with money away so that I can come out here and get paid. I will have a service, a small business, veteran-owned rehab facility for rich athletes that want to do a lot of drugs and alcohol and claim that they're rehabbing so that they can rehab their image just for them to come back 3 to 4 years later and spend a boatload of money. All right. Well, this has been a short episode of the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you hadn't already, hit that like button. I will be back. Am I going to be back next Wednesday? Yes, we will be back next Wednesday. We are going to do sports trivia here at the Sports Bar. in which we give away cash money, mucho dinero. So if you want a chance to win some cold, hard cash, especially with these current gas prices, be sure to tune in to Sports Bar next Wednesday for Sports Bar Trivia here at WTF Nation Radio. I am the actual King Smith. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good evening.